Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. How's everybody doing? Let me know in the chat how you guys are doing today. I'm here again on Thursday. It's been a while. It's been a minute. I took a couple weeks off moving. I'm still very much in construction. And if you hear noise in the background, it's very much still under progress. But I do want to resume my Thursday lives to support you guys in answering any questions, any thoughts that you have, maybe, any questions thoughts, worries, concerns that you have that maybe I can answer in this time. But who am I? I'm Catherine Hood. If I haven't formally met you in person or in a coaching session, or maybe perhaps a class or a course or whatever, however we're connected, if we haven't personally met, I'm a happiness coach. I also, on occasion, personal train one-on-one or in groups. I kind of do a lot of different things that are fun and exciting. And now that I think about it, my life is quite vast, but my purpose, my meaning that gives me fulfillment and joy is happiness coaching. It's really working one-on-one with individuals or small groups and helping them define what happiness is. Not a burst of joy or, there's a big distinct difference between happiness and pleasure. I think a lot of people, when I first start working with them, there's this confusion between what happiness is and pleasure. Like they're seeking pleasure, they're seeking dopamine hits, they're seeking goals or achievements in their life, whether that be getting married or obtaining a certain career or job or writing a book or whatever. They're seeking these milestones, and they believe that they will be happy when. There are a lot of individuals that I work with as well that have lived a lot of their life, many decades serving and helping people and pouring into people, and are left with an empty cup and don't know why they're miserable and unhappy. So I chime myself as a happiness coach because I looked back on my journey midway through my exploring what it is to be a life coach, or I actually started off as a health coach. And I realized, at the beginning of my journey, I was very, very unhappy. And so I was seeking happiness in external things. And as a result of what I've seen, what I've experienced, what I've gone through, I've realized where happiness is. And I know it's very mentioned a lot out there that, happiness is within or inside of you. And we can logically understand that in our analytical brain, our left brain, but until you actually experience it, feel it, and foster it and work on it on a daily basis in a way that you grasp it and feel it, I really don't know that you fully understand happiness. So, and what that means, to have happiness internally, that it's an inside job, that it's a state of mind, unless you actually experience it and have it for long lengths of time. I don't know that you fully grasp it. At least I didn't. People would say all the time, that's an inside job, that's a state of mind. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But I didn't experience it fully until doing a lot of self-improvement, a lot of work, a lot of internal work. So, but if you're watching this, whether live or recorded, please say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm here in Spokane, Washington. It's a beautiful day. It's 43 degrees and cloudy. So we'll see what happens. But I looked at the weather. It's supposed to be really nice this weekend. So hopefully it's nice where you are. But whatever you're comfortable sharing with me, I love to see where my videos reach to, how far they go, and how close you might be in a way that maybe we might be able to connect and meet in person and do a walk or a hike or whatever. And I am traveling actually next month. I'm traveling to Montana, so I'm kind of excited to get out of state and hit the road. But today I wanted to I'm only going to be here for a little bit, see if anybody has any questions. Again, wanting to have some consistency and showing up here around 10 a.m. Pacific time, Thursdays, except for when I'm traveling. Unless I can make that work, I might try to make that work. Who knows, right? I think consistency is really important because I want to show up here for you and serve you, offer you support, love, kindness, whatever you're needing, answer your questions, maybe cheer you on, hold you accountable, whatever it is, on Thursdays. And this is very loose. I don't have really a format or anything that I'm following. I do have a couple of things that I want to mention that allow you to engage with me and maybe have you leaving this video with kind of something to ponder, to contemplate, to think about. I get a lot of feedback when I see people out and about at events or parties or different things that they'll come up to me and go, man, you post such great stuff. Oftentimes I don't like it or comment on it. I just walk away really thinking about it. You really have me thinking about a lot of things and I love it. So I do appreciate that. Although I would ask that you at least give me a thumbs up or a heart or something. It gives me a little bit of what we call like, what do they call it? Social media credit, right? So every time you like something, every time you comment on something, it gives it greater depth. It reaches more people get to see it, and that benefits me, you, and everybody else. So if possible, do that. So I appreciate that. And thank you for those hearts and loves and likes and comments. So anyways, a question for you would be, are you shrinking or are you expanding right now in your life? Way to go. Thank you. So are you shrinking or expanding? So right now, if you just take a pause and look at your life, are you shrinking or are you expanding? So I want to point to that if you're not expanding, growing, stretching, learning, evolving, whatever word you want to use, you're shrinking. It's either one or the other. There's no middle ground. It really takes being intentional and purposeful to be expanding, learning, growing, evolving, seeking, serving, whatever it is that offers you fulfillment, purpose, and meaning in your life. You know, a lot of people, when I first start working with them, have been shrinking oftentimes for many years. You know, they've been living their life in a way that they're influenced by external demands, commands, comparison, expectations, pressures, and they're living their life from the outside in. So, one of the things that I work closely with my clients is shifting that way of living from a way where you're living from the inside out. You're dictating and you're defining and articulating how you want to feel and using that along with your values, your morals or principles, whatever your guiding light is, to make decisions every day. Because we make a million different decisions and choices every day. Whether that be eat healthy or not eat healthy, whether we hit snooze 3, 4, 5, 10 times, whether we set ourselves up for success and having a good night's sleep or having a really good day, planning out our food. These are all health related, but what are you doing on a daily basis that has you expanding, growing, evolving, becoming, a bigger, greater person, whatever that means for you. So that's kind of what I want you to contemplate and ponder today. Are you shrinking or are you expanding? So I want to point out to you, when I work with individuals, I specialize in helping them change their automatic thought process, helping them understand how their mind, their thoughts, their brain, their consciousness work, and really learning how to work with it rather than against it, all of them. And I help individuals and groups create their own experience, being able to navigate what life throws at you with ease and peace of mind. Well, thank you, Michael. I love helping and serving and coaching people in a way that gives them a happy life, greater than what they oftentimes imagine. So some topics that are pretty front and center recently that I'm helping clients with would be, you know, finding a way to overcome issues and challenges in the workplace, dealing with coworkers and bosses. That's been quite a pretty big one lately, which is fine. It's funny how I get like blocks of individuals that reach out to me or become new clients that are kind of a certain type of um, problem or challenge that are in common, and which is fun. I love it, and that's what I love about happiness coaching is I never know what it's going to be about. It could be about relationships. It could be about writing a book. It could be about starting a business. It could be about finding true love. Like it just evolves and changes and it's different, and I love the variety. And to me, that's really important in my life is have a lot of variety and a lot of things to look forward to, new and exciting things. So I'm always expanding. I'm always learning. Like, how am I going to learn today? What's exciting that I'm going to learn today? So it always up levels my skills. So I'm always expanding. And, to a certain extent, I think some people love expanding more than others, and that's okay. We're all unique. One of the other topics that's been really, really popular in my coaching is healthy communication. And what's interesting that I find working in that space, it's actually been a couple of months now where healthy communication has been really rising to the top. And it's on a variety of topics. That could be with your partner, your spouse, your kids, your people you work with. I work with a lot of leaders in business, in the corporate world as well. And so healthy communication has been rising to the top. And what it's interesting too is when I work with an individual on healthy communication, it's funny, like it'll be like we tackle one aspect of their life and then another one pops up. And it's just, again, healthy communication. And healthy communication isn't something that we're all born with. Some of us are. We have the blueprint and the wiring and the thought process and the emotional intelligence to know how to healthfully communicate. Like it just comes naturally. And some of us have to practice at it, have to continually learn and grow and how to navigate healthy communication. So that's something that is a learning point for me. I'm constantly looking for ways to create healthy communication in my personal life and in several of the groups and nonprofits that I'm in and help and support and serve. Um, because I think it's always changing. There's always great information out there, new knowledge, new insights on how we communicate, how we mirror each other, how we can convey a message that might be difficult to convey, but also learning how to have people feel um, supported, included in whatever decision making that you're making or whatever conversation that you're wanting to have, seeking clarity and understanding how other people see whatever that is that's in between the two of you that you're trying to communicate healthfully, right? So everybody experiences everything differently. So it's just fun. I find it fascinating. Anyways, so again, back to what I talked about earlier, are you expanding or are you shrinking? So I would say that a person's a person will expand or shrink in proportion to how courageous they are. So I'm going to say that again. Most of us are going to continue to expand, learn, and grow or shrink in proportion to your courage. So, in other words, if you're a person that's terrified and afraid of everything, fear ridden, right? You're probably shrinking. But if you're one that looks at a challenge, looks at learning, growing, evolving, expanding as something that's exciting and fun and intriguing and interesting and fascinating, and you have this wild curiosity about, new things, you're probably a type of person that's expanding. So if you're answering the question of like, well, I know I'm not expanding, I must be shrinking, where are you on the spectrum of courage? And you can put that in the chat if you want. So how courageous are you on a scale of 1 to 10? So 1 being not very courageous and 10 being wildly courageous. Where are you? For me, I'd probably say I'm probably a 7 and 8. Maybe we'll say an 8. We'll land on an 8. I can't say that I'm the most courageous person. There are things that I don't like heights. So if it involves heights, I'm probably gonna take a rain check. But on most things, just really looking at life in a general landscape, I'm pretty courageous, I would say. So where are you on the spectrum? 1 to 10. Feel free to put it in the chat. Be brave. So I do believe, and I kind of alluded to this, that the universe and our world, our lives really works from 2 principles, from love or from fear. So if you're operating from low courage, you're probably fear-based, very frightful, very anxious, very worried. You're consumed by the past and the present. You're worrying and overthinking and analyzing. That's very left brain dominant. And I would say the majority of the clients that I first start working with are left brain dominant, which I think that our world, our culture, our society, our news, and all the things that we're exposed to foster and create a lot of left brain dominant people. And a lot of our jobs create that too. I'm a 1 when it comes to heights. But mess with my son and I'm a 10. Yeah, I love that. What a great answer. So yeah, it's a sliding scale and it's subjective to the topic. I get it. Totally get it. So you have 2 principles. You operate from love or you operate from fear. So love would be loving life courageously. So I'd be probably towards the 10, right? So those 2 opposing forces, right? The love and the fear. If you're filled with fear, anxiety, worry, you'll probably notice that everything in your life is scary, doom-ridden. You're probably suffering a lot in your thinking, your stories, your beliefs, the things that you're thinking about, pondering on, staying up late at night, not getting quality sleep. But the more you act out of fear, the stronger that neural pathway is to the left side of your brain. So the more you act out of fear, the stronger that becomes. So fear comes in a lot of different forms. And what's interesting too is I've noticed with working with a lot of people over the years is, and don't be jolted by this word. And being that I said that, you're probably going to be like, oh, now I'm going to be jolted by it now. Thanks, Catherine. Thanks for the warning. But one would be, someone that's, I'll change it. I'll say someone that isolates and hides, avoids, is fear-ridden, and could maybe in some people's eyes have a laziness connotation to it, right? Hiding, isolating, saying no to things, not doing things, really staying at home, hiding. This gives birth to fear. This makes it bigger, makes it expand, makes it larger. And the reason why you're afraid and that you fear maybe, and have that lack of courage is you fear change. You fear things being different than it currently is. You're afraid or you're frightful, you're anxious and worried about new information because you're left brain dominant. Your survival brain is on high alert. And actually, these are individuals that are brilliant. I've worked with so many people that I've gotten them from being left brain dominant to having a balance of right and left brain. And left and right brain is just a very general term. I like to coach in a way that's like third grade level where it's easy to understand. I don't use biological terms and really, go high level. I stay at a very third grade level. So my clients feel excited to learn and grow and expand and enjoy coaching. But so that's why I speak in these terms. But when you're left brain dominant, you're in this fear, the survival brain. But I help them create new neural pathways to access their right brain, their creative, love-based, exploratory, fun, innovative, creative mind, allowing them to have more courage, access that space of being wildly curious and wildly courageous. And a lot of people, when they first start working with me, is like, oh, did you make it sound so easy and so simple, but it sounds also so hard. But you know what? It's worth it. But a lot of people don't take that brave action or raise their hand and say, I need help from a coach. I need someone to help me to be more courageous and brave and live my life the way I want to live it. And they isolate more and more and more, and the world shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. There's a portion of people that never bother to ask for help. They never seek information to be able to use their brilliant brain, the full landscape at the left and the right and the everything, balancing it out and having a life that feels more peaceful, more calm, fearing change. Because we are wired to fear change because it does take mental energy of experiencing new change. Myself personally, I just moved March 15th, and so much change in a short period of time. It really was like my Jedi trainer. It was just very insightful for me. Like, whoa, this is what it's like to really just, totally upheaval your entire life, flip it on its head, and your brain goes through overload. It's too much change at once, basically. So we talked about fear, and we want to talk about love. Love is the opposite, right? Love means expansion. Love means abundance. Love means wild curiosity, innovation. It means leaving your selfish interests behind and being something new and different. Becoming better, stronger, more capable, more resilient, being able to cope and navigate through life's challenges, looking to see the gift and opportunity in the things that happen to us. It means listening and understanding the people that are in your life, listening at a deep level to understand their reality, their perspective without judgment, without putting any meaning on anything or being right or wrong. It's just being a human being, loving life, waking up excited every morning. It's being the type of person that's looking forward to grow and expand and change. And that doesn't mean that we never feel fear. We actually usually feel fear and view it as excitement, kind of like when you see people on the roller coaster and they're screaming at their head, ah! Are they fear-based or are they excited-based, right? Some of you may know I do bodybuilding, and I'm about to do a show here April 13th, and without a doubt, every single show I've done, and I don't even know how many I've done lots. As moving, I'm realizing, wow, there's a lot of trophies here. I've done a lot of shows. But all the time, every single show, I'm behind stage with a woman that's maybe their first time, and they're frozen in fear. And I usually can talk to them in a matter of 60 seconds and flip it on its head and say, it's not fear. What you're feeling right now is excitement. You're proud of how far you've come. This is your finish line. This is your proud moment. This is the time that you shine. Go out there and show off your hard work. It's not the words I use exactly. I use whatever I feel compelled at the moment and that rises for me in that moment because I connect with that person and I know in that moment what feels right. But I want to ask you, what side are you on? Are you on love or fear? Are you expanding or are you shrinking? And remember, if you're not expanding, you're shrinking. There's only one that exists. And if you're sitting here going, well, I don't know how to do that, and that just seems like hogwash or whatever, you know what? Take take brave action and reach out to me. Let's have a conversation, you and me, and discuss it. Because if you're not actively defeating your inner dialogue, your thoughts, your sabotaging thoughts, and you're letting life affect you every day, you're not actively improving. You're not challenging yourself. You're shrinking. So I hope this was valuable. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I do have a client that I got to get ready for. But I honor you guys for hanging in there and chatting with me and giving me love, giving me hearts, giving me thumbs up, whatever social credit you're willing to give me. Feel free to tag people too that maybe need to hear this message. Share it with somebody. But thank you guys for your support and always being an amazing human being. Like, that's what we need. We need people to support one another. And so I come here and serve and see how I can be of service to you. But know that I'm here for you. Reach out to me. Don't be shy. Say, hey, Catherine, I have a question. Could you help me with this? Or could you support me with that? Or what would that look like? But what is keeping you up at night? That's an area that I love to work with clients in. So anyways, thank you guys. Have a great day.